Okay. Welcome all to the October 2nd meeting of the Dudley Board of Water and Sewer Commissioners. I have to start the meeting by telling everyone that this meeting is being recorded. And as always, we start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, minutes from September 4th.
Can I make a motion to accept the minutes of September 4th?
Second.
The motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. The executive session minutes from September 18th to accept and not release.
Make a motion to accept the executive session minutes from the 18th?
Second.
Okay, and to not release.
And to not release.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay, 72 Healy Road. I think, I'm guessing that's you. I'm sure you all have better things to do on a Wednesday night, but come up to the table, whoever's gonna speak with us. Any, all, whoever. And if you haven't, just sign in so that we know for our record keeping. So just introduce yourselves and.
This is new for me. I am Josiah Dresser.
Okay, so you want to connect to water
Yes.
on Healy Road?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we have the plans here. George, did you look at these plans? One copy there. We'll pass them over.
As far as it from your house foundation to the edge of the road, I forgot what, I didn't get a chance to look at the dimensions. You over 100 feet?
I think it's definitely over 100 feet.
Yes, I'm Josh Lolax, I'm the site contractor. I measured it out, it's roughly, guessing where the main is, it's roughly 250.
Yeah, so you're gonna definitely need a meter pit. The main is a 12-inch ductile, and it's probably just near the center line of the road.
It's
Or
that
a little-
far out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, who's your contractor that you gonna use to do the job?
I'm doing the site work.
You're gonna do the site work?
Yeah, I'm the site contractor.
All right. Standard policies after you get through your permits and things with the office and that, communicate with me, and we'll show you exactly what we do, how we do it.
Right.
You're probably gonna have to get a meter pit, and it's have to be a good size one. We've had a few that are very small, we can't get into them. And we'll show you how about the bed and the stone and everything, so everything's done right.
Yeah, I was, actually, tonight I wanted to ask you what you want for a meter pit. Do you want like a 4-foot wide sump manhole basically dropped in?
I'd like
so
to
you
go a
can-
little bit wider if possible.
5 foot, okay.
Yeah.
Because like I was explaining to them a few weeks ago on site, you know, somebody like my size and whatnot, I'm not a small guy, they gotta climb in there to be able to service it.
I just go in upside down, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't like doing that. I make it tight, yeah.
We'll go over that. We're
Wrap the lanyard around your ankles and
Yeah.
head first.
We want to standardize everything because we've had trouble before with them filling up and not accessible and stuff.
Is there a standard?
We haven't, we're getting to about what he's looking to do, 5 feet, at least enough availability space to get in and that. It's just the procedure first, when we get there and show you where we kind of want to put it, the service.
Yeah.
How you want to layer, things like that, so we don't have any trouble with water or anything.
Yeah, because, so you're looking at the plan right now. There is one thing, I actually spoke with, I'm sorry, I forget your name.
That's okay.
Location where the tie-in is. So you can, if you follow the water line where he's got it drawn, he's got it on the downhill side of the driveway for the tie-in and then crossing the driveway. The telephone pole has been installed on the downhill side of the driveway. And just me personally, I think it'd be better just keep the water line on the other side of the driveway the whole way.
That's
And
what I was
not
gonna tell
cross
you.
it.
Yeah, I don't want to cross driveways.
Perfect.
And pavements, anything like that. Something happens and it breaks, your new driveway gets ruined.
That's what I was kind of thinking about too, and was hoping that you would be okay with that.
So that's towards your front left door, somewhere in your left, your door coming down, the front side coming down,
Yeah, it's on the,
right side.
it's, so if you're looking
No,
at the
left
house
side.
from the street, the
You're coming on the left,
tie-in,
side. You're coming on the left side of the
I'll come on
driveway.
the left side of the driveway. Basically, it's
Yeah.
actually the uphill side of
Okay.
it with the water, and just
Yeah.
stay on that side, because the septic and everything's on the other side of the driveway.
Definitely.
We keep the driveway and it's separating everything all together, that keeps everything apart.
He's building it now, so. Yes, definitely.
Okay, my other question is, I don't know if you wanna answer it now or not, what are you requiring for pipe?
200 or 250 PSI plastic.
Plastic,
Yeah,
okay.
3/4 inch.
Somebody had said to me last week in conversation that you guys were requiring copper and.
No way.
Okay, thank
No
you.
way.
250 feet of copper?
No,
Yeah,
no, no,
yeah,
no.
exactly.
Maybe in Cambridge, but not in
Those
Southbridge.
those numbers started going through my head on what it was gonna cost for that pipe, for that long of a run, and it was making my own head spin.
You have our numbers for my office and everything. Yeah, why don't you give me a call and we'll go over some things. I don't know when you plan on doing this.
I gotta cut the grade down first because the lot's like this.
Yeah.
And it's on the uphill side of the driveway and the driveway's carved in, so I gotta finish the septic and then take the fill from that side, flip it over to that side to fill the lower half of the yard to get it down to subgrade before I dig the trench, because I don't wanna dig an 8-foot deep trench.
No, no. No, that's fine. Yeah, just get in contact, or arrange to get in contact with me when you're ready.
Yeah.
I'll come out, we'll do some talking and see how you doing.
No problem.
Southbridge requires copper.
Okay. I knew somebody does, but I just,
Southbridge won't allow plastic.
I thought they stopped doing
We even made Charlton change over all the ones that they put in that real plastic.
Wow.
It's about $4 a foot right now for the copper.
$4 a foot?
yeah,
Ooh.
times 250.
Yeah.
$1,000 down the hole.
Never mind all the unions that connect it all together, because you're not gonna buy a 300-foot roll of copper.
Okay,
You okay with this, George?
Yes.
Make a motion to accept, to allow 72 here to connect to the water.
Nice view from there.
motion's been, is there a second? Okay, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Unanimous. Okay,
Thank you guys.
welcome to Dudley.
I lived in Dudley most of my life, moved around, but went to middle school and everything here.
Oh, the Dresser family, okay, all right, yeah.
I'm not related to Dresser Hill.
No,
I wish.
okay, yeah,
Well, thank you very much.
okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, the Abrams Group is, we got a call from Matt that they don't have, the report's not ready yet, so they asked to push it off, and
It will not be ready prior to town
it
meeting.
won't be ready for town meeting, so we'll have to figure that all out.
How does that work? Because we never agreed to the price that they put in the budget. And I thought when we talked to, when you talked to DOR, they said that it was only legal for them to take the money if we all agreed upon it.
Well, that's, and that has
Agreed
been
upon by
my,
the commission and agreed upon at town meeting.
that was the discussion back then, that because it's a, well, that's what came from town council. That, and, you know, they can just take, it was over whether or not they could take it at the
take it
beginning of the
upfront.
year without having a voucher, without vouchering it.
Right.
And it said, no, they can, as long as it's been agreed to by both side parties and town meeting that it doesn't need a voucher, it just gets
But
transferred.
we never agreed to it.
But we did, and we've been very vocal, adamant about it, right from the get-go on this particular budget, that, no, we don't agree on it. So there is no agreement, so I'm not sure how that's gonna play out. I'm not sure how they're finalizing the budget ask for the fall town meeting tomorrow, right? Okay.
If at town meeting, you get up and talk to the moderator. generator?
We'll find out what they're gonna propose tomorrow, so.
But, yeah, but you could get up at town meeting and say, point of order, this was not agreed upon.
Right. Oh, yeah, I have no problem with that. No problem with that at all.
Should we have a motion to just have it in writing if we wanted to make a motion to amend the town budget to whatever our numbers that we agreed upon were?
I don't remember what was the amount? Do you have that?
It was half, yeah.
It was half of what?
So what's in here? Let's see.
What was it, what was in our budget for this springtown meeting?
Because last year
That
we
won't
asked-
show up in there.
We asked to be put on the first meeting in July,
Right.
and we never did that, or they never did that.
No.
So the amount that they put in for our budget
Right.
was 105,000
Per
for
department.
water, and then I think
We
it was,
dropped them to 52 or something, 52.5 or something like
yeah, 105 each.
Yeah, okay, so it's 52.5. I mean, that's where it's been.
So you're looking for a motion?
Do we,
that. I think it should be a motion on the floor to amend the
Oh, at the town meeting.
town meeting budget to
Oh.
what was agreed upon,
oh, absolutely.
not just what they decide they want to throw in there.
Right.
Because we went to them last year and wanted to discuss it. They did their little showboat saying that we came to them last minute. So we said we wanted to be on their first agenda in July. They denied that, and we were not on an agenda throughout the entire period. We had multiple requests to discuss it, and then they wanted to do this study, but we still had to have the conversation and agree upon a number. So, if it was, if you looked at the whole body of ratepayers, I think that all the ratepayers would look at it and say, well, we should probably go with what the elected board that we elected to manage the water and sewer.
Sure. Oh, I have no
The
issue there.
ratepayers are also taxpayers, so they're paying it on both ends. But the people that are not taxpayers are getting the benefit, or not ratepayers are getting the benefit of all the money from the water and sewer ratepayers.
That's correct. So there is a selectmen's meeting tomorrow night where they're gonna finalize what's gonna go to the town, what's gonna go to the floor of the town meeting. What's that?
Thursday night, then?
Yes, yeah, they've been having, their every other Monday meeting, and then they're having Thursday night meetings joint meetings with FAA to,
Are you going to this meeting?
I'll be there tomorrow. I can go to the, what's it, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock?
6:30.
6:30, okay.
He's
I'll be there.
capped at 6.
It's supposed to be, but I'll find out about that tomorrow for sure. Yeah.
Okay, has there been any time bond? Yeah, okay. Actually, there has been email going back and forth concerning the
Change orders.
change orders. I don't really, because that's negotiating, in negotiation. They're asking if we had, they wanted us, if we had agreed to pay the full amount. I don't know that was ever on the table.
I think they came back and said that, because we.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we discussed that last month. Other than that, there wasn't anything else from Ty and Bond, was there?
No.
Water treatment plant updates, was there anything?
No. You're going, I'm sorry to backtrack, but you're going to the selectmen tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where do we stand with the road opening?
At the moment, there was a voucher in there to pay that contractor, because that's the right thing to do.
Yep.
I did have a conversation with the town administrator last week, and they said that it was an oversight, that there were no other road opening permits. But in any case, that they are, it's being proposed to the selectmen to standardize the whole road opening process with a standard amount. But that hadn't gone to the selectmen. I don't know if it's gone to them yet or not.
What are we gonna ask them to be reimbursed?
We have asked, and they've said no. Or at least the town administrator has said no.
When you speak tomorrow night at the
Yep.
selectmen's meeting,
We can,
ask why? So
Yep.
it's, to the public?
sure.
If I can get them to remind you, I will.
Okay.
So what happened between the last meeting and this meeting?
Which,
Because we brought this up at the last meeting, I thought you said you had a conversation with him, and said
Yeah.
it was all set.
Said it was an oversight, and he was gonna take care of it, and
well, yeah, and there's no intention, it was,
All I know is he said he was gonna speak to the selectmen, and I have not heard nothing.
okay. So we have, okay, so there's still, you know, hearing different
Well,
things from
maybe
different
good
people,
time
so
to ask
we
him,
can
'cause-
find out. But I mean, the right thing to do is to reimburse that contractor, because
Yep.
they paid it to keep the project moving. Okay, water treatment plant, was there anything on the water treat, there wasn't, there's nothing, I mean, everything seems to be going well down there. I tried to stop in, talk to Brian briefly on Thursday morning, afternoon time period. The platform has been installed around the filter, the bag filter. And there's some concerns about the way it went in, but we're looking at it to see. The stairs, rather than having stairs going up, it's a ladder, and that, the angle of it is a little rough. So, looking to possibly have it altered, but that's kind of low on the priorities right now for Brian and the plant. But in any case,
Meet regulation?
it looks good. Oh, yeah, it does. But it's the way the handles are, it almost throws you back a little bit when you're climbing up the ladder.
Do they have any need for, you know, like those things that you see at Home Depot where you roll them around the stairs?
I had asked about that, and it's still, I guess he's still talking to,
I'm just thinking if there's anything else down at the plant, I mean,
I
the
guess we're
ceilings are high.
trying to talk to Winston, try to make a safer method, and let them try to rig
yeah,
something up.
they're working between the engineers, the contractors, and everyone to make sure it's the best that it can be. Splash pad, playground. Boy, social media is still is roaring about this. The town did get a grant to pay for a good chunk of it. And then the town portion that, for matching, will fund it. But the splash pad, they did come back with some numbers.
They estimate the water usage will be 20 to 25,000 gallons per day at the peak period of summer, based on 9 hours per day of usage.
Crushed some numbers, and that calculates out to about 60,000 for the season, about $270 a day.
A day?
A day. Per day of use, yes. For that kind of water.
Mr. Chairman, is this just for the residents of Dudley?
No.
No, it can't be with the, that grant. It's a public splash pad, open to the
I
public.
don't see how we can justify having just our users pay for the whole town water and outside people from the town.
To be honest, I don't know why we would spare that much water when we're looking at putting wells in that we took out of commission to keep as backups, because we can't maintain usage in the event of emergency.
That's those, those numbers came in, was it last Friday?
Tuesday, the 24th.
Okay, I saw them.
Yeah, so the Recreation Commission is looking to get something from you as that it was originally coming through the Assistant Town Administrator as to if you would provide free water, if you would be charging them for water, just so that they know going forward what their expenses will be. So they're looking for you to
I think we need to charge them out to see how we can justify putting that on the backs of our users
That
for the
is
whole town.
That is a pretty substantial amount of
And
money.
And if it was just our town, that might be a consideration, but it's not, so.
I tend to agree. That there might be the ability, at least as far as I can see, there might be the ability to negotiate something, but that's a pretty big pill to swallow. That's a lot of water.
We already give a lot of money to the town.
Yeah, especially, with all the back and forth for years on indirects and everything else. It's a big pill to
How do
swallow.
we justify, Mr. Chairman, negotiating, giving them a deal when we don't negotiate with anybody else to give a deal?
We're the only person that paid a road opening permit in the history.
Yeah.
The town department has to pay a road opening permit when private companies don't, but yet they want us to give them for free.
Mhm. Oh, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I don't know if anybody wants to put a motion out there, or if we want to continue to see where this leads.
An answer.
Huh?
I think they're looking for an answer, is that not correct? I make a motion, we cannot justify giving them free water. Not
Okay.
fair to our rate users.
Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Is the motion supposed to be in an affirmative manner and then deny it, or?
No, okay, clarify your motion. I'm guessing that you're saying that we don't, at this time, we're not willing to,
That's exactly what I'm saying.
we're not willing to abate the water charge.
Are we-
So that's what it would come in the form of an abatement.
Are we even willing to allow a connection? That would be the first thing. Decide whether or not you're gonna provide it for free or not.
At this point, George, do we have the capacity?
Problem is where are we gonna get it from, either James Street or View Street? I don't know where this thing's really gonna go and how. I suppose they're gonna do everything.
Yeah, I mean, that would be up to the engineers to draw all that up. They'd have to draw that up and propose it to us.
Okay, is there something we need to upgrade in order to give them a connection, either place?
Or the connection can come right out of this building.
I don't know, I mean, you're gonna be going under the whole parking lot to get over there from this building or whatever. I don't know what this thing.
Cut a trench, yeah.
Dig a hole and do directional boring.
Well, how that's done is, I don't know how we would deny a permit,
Right.
a connection, but
Always-
if it's paid, if we can provide the water, if that's
I
not.
don't think we have a justification not to give them water if we have the capacity.
I just don't want it abused either, where, you know, things are left on for some reason overnight and the thing's running.
Well, it has to be metered.
It's metered.
But what I mean is still you're wasting water too at that point. I just want to make it
It's
good.
non-essential water use. You have a right to deny it because the state mandates that we put restrictions in place. You can't deny a residential house for tying in if they don't have the ability to drill a well, but you don't have to provide water for a water park that's non-essential.
That's true.
And just to, so you know, it would be on a timer that it would only be operational during certain hours of the day. And it wouldn't be all the time, it would have to be activated, and it would, I don't know the exact times, but I'm just saying, say like, you know, 9 in the morning till 7 at night. And the rest of the time it's off. Even if you go and activate it, it wouldn't be activated on. I do know that much, but I don't.
When is the time that this is gonna be used the most?
Either
During
day.
the hottest times of the
Yep.
year, during our peak demand.
You're looking probably, I would say, like Memorial Day to Labor Day.
July and August is gonna be the highest time that's gonna be used, which is where we're pumping the most water. And under the most point of, that we would be restricting water use to no non-essential outdoor water use. Do we have a copy of the water management act permit that we have? We can get a copy of that, just because I'm sure there's language in there. When was the last update on the water management act permit? Do we know that?
22.
If they did it in 22, I can guarantee there's language in there for outdoor water restrictions. You're either doing it off a stream flow or you're doing it off calendar year, which should be May 1st to September 30th. So from May 1st to September 30th, we have a water ban in place. So you're issuing a water ban and then telling people they can't use outdoor water use. And now you're gonna put in a water park that's just gonna run water, 25,000 gallons a day outdoors. And it's 9 to 5, and you're telling me that that's the only time it's gonna be on. That's our
Basically.
restrictions, that time period. We can't use outdoor water use, non-essential.
Yeah.
So
True.
we definitely have the reason to deny it.
Okay, the motion's been made. Oh, well, okay, the motion on the floor right now is to,
I'm gonna rescind that motion.
okay,
Because I'm questioning whether we can approve it to begin with. I think we need clarification from higher authority whether we can even approve it. Connection.
you make a good point about, we're telling everybody else in town that you can't use, you know, restrict your water use during the day, during the summer, and then you know, having a splash pad out here.
There's exceptions to a water ban, some being municipal use, others being to establish new lawn. But I don't like to be hypocritical, so, you know, you can use it to establish new lawn anywhere.
Right.
But I just don't think that we should be telling everybody they can't wash their cars, they can't water their lawn, and then sit here and dump 25,000 gallons a day on the ground.
Do we know where the runoff's going?
That's what I was gonna say, where does the water go to after that? If you're using 25,000 gallons a
It's
day.
gotta go somewhere.
It's gotta go somewhere, it can't go in the sewer.
No, that's true.
And do they have Concom, any input from them as to where they're gonna dump 25,000 gallons of water?
I do not believe so.
That's treated water as well, which
Right, it's got chlorine in
has
it.
chlorine in it.
If it goes to a storm drain, it's gonna, you know, that could be, the MS4 and NIPD's permit requirements. Who's gonna handle that aspect?
So there's still more questions.
Yes. Opinion on council whether we can even allow it,
Would it be town council or would it be
DEP?
DEP? Who would be able to tell us that?
It's up to this department. It's not really their call.
Right. They give us,
give you the
they give us the
guidelines.
regulations, and it's up to us to make the decision. What we will allow and what we won't allow.
Like I said, I don't like to be hypocritical. If you're telling everybody else they can't use the water. George says we got plenty.
Turn the ringer off.
Can we get a call to DEP just to ask the question? It's not gonna cost us anything, is it?
I know the answer. It's up to this board. They give you the regulations and the guidelines.
You know, the exceptions are, like, as you said, municipal use. This would be
This
municipal
would be
use.
municipal use. It's an
So
it's an acceptable exception to the
However,
water ban.
however, it's still,
I don't like being hypocritical.
that water's gonna get pumped onto the ground. Where's it gonna go?
And
It can't go into the
how
sewer.
many of the past years have we been in critical situations where we're running out of water? You know, up until we got all the wells online, but even at the last meeting, we were discussing a well that we're putting a new pump in and everything else to keep as a backup. If you're at the point you need a backup, do you really wanna waste water?
Right? So how do we put that in a form of a motion, or do we wanna put it in the form of a motion, or is it just the intentions of the board?
I'm thinking, before we put a motion, we gotta know where the water's going.
I'll say there's a lot more questions to answer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because is it only water, or is it water and sewer? Is it, like I said, where's that water going to? I mean, we pay Webster for sewer, so that's gonna be another expense for us.
Can't remember. I've only seen the plans like once or twice.
Well,
I can find out.
If we did allow connection, it would have to be paid for. And if it goes in sewer, they're gonna have to pay a sewer fee too.
I can email you all a copy of
The plan.
the plan,
Okay.
and
Did you review the plan?
I haven't seen anything in the plan. I haven't seen anything.
I can email you what I have is a copy of the playground plan. That's all I have. It doesn't,
Yeah,
it shows where the splash
Is
pad's
there a
gonna go.
representative or somebody that
that,
communicate with?
yeah, I
So,
think that's a little deeper.
Yeah,
Next
it's Radnor
page.
Design Associates. It's Michael Radnor from Radnor Design Associates who's did the whole design of this. Let me send you out what I have, and then you can let me know, because that's what I have is a whole email about it.
That's a,
He
that's a,
designed it,
that's a,
too.
that's a design for funding.
Correct.
Once you get the funding now, you know, how it's gonna be installed and all of that'll come from
Right, and I know that
the next
he's
stages.
been back and forth with Vortex, the manufacturer of the splash pad, because he knows very little about it.
Okay.
Just, and that's how I had to get the
So
gallons.
Vortex?
Vortex is the manufacturer. But I'll email it all out.
Okay.
Who from the town is overseeing this?
It was just handed over to the Recreation Committee. It had been done by the town planner and the selectman's office, assistant town administrator and town administrator, about a month, somewhere a month or two, it got handed over to the Recreation Committee.
Okay, well, we'll get some, see if we can get some more answers and figure out what, where we're gonna go, where.
Are you gonna
we're
ask the questions?
We'll get. we'll get them.
I'll send you what I have,
Yeah.
and if there's not anything there, then you let me know what else, and I'll even see if you want him to come to a meeting, whatever. Absolutely.
Sure.
That'd probably be the easiest, has to
right.
direct questions.
Yep. Do you want me to have him come to the next meeting, or do you want to look at it first?
Well, we can look at it beforehand. and-
Yeah, let me know. I'll be more than happy.
Okay.
Okay with that?
That sound all right to you? All right. Sean, you good with that?
Yes.
All right, Webster True Up meeting. They're looking to meet with us, the semi-annual True Up meetings. This one is for capital, looking at their capital proposals for the next year. No, this is for the true up. This is for looking at the total, their expenses and truing up
Fiscal year '24.
for fiscal '24. And they had proposed the
3rd or the 30th
the 23rd or the 30th of this month.
of October,
And that is,
a Wednesday and a Wednesday.
those are Wednesdays.
Can we get our friend there?
Give them a call tomorrow morning. Are either of those days
30th, what was the other day?
23rd or the 30th? The 3rd or the 4th? That's the 4th or the 5th. 4th or the 5th Wednesday of October. The 30th is the day before Halloween.
Trustees on the 23rd, but if, I'll make this if it's
Yeah.
pleasure of the board.
Okay. So does either of those nights a problem for anyone here? Justin told me on the phone that he's open for just about anything, unless of course something happens.
Well, I think-
That's the same for any of us.
I think we should reach out to our friend and
Yes.
see let him pick what's best for him, if it's okay with us.
Okay. Is that suitable?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
You okay with that, Bob?
Yep.
Okay.
Either one's
All right.
fine.
So I'll reach out to Paul and find out which I'll do that tomorrow because I know Webster wants to set the date soon so that they can be ready for us. Webster True Up.
The question is, have they been sending Paul the information? It'd be nice to get him the
Yeah.
information beforehand.
Sure. Find out. Yeah, absolutely.
Have we done anything to get the meter on the SCADA?
I don't believe anything.
Yet Matt hasn't been available.
They're finishing up with the plant and everything else, getting the rest of the water system. But that is
It's on the plan.
generator bids. What is that?
Remember we went out and had people come in and bids for doing services on generator.
Oh,
vehicles?
service bids. Do we have anything on that?
We had gotten them back in March. Ben sent them all, reviewed them. I have a copy of,
Okay, it was in March,
yep.
and it just,
It was all brought up at a meeting prior.
yeah, okay, I remember that, but we didn't take action? I mean, is there, okay,
I think we, didn't we
I
look
thought
at
we
a few
did.
more after that? Did I ever get you that other one in Connecticut?
No. So I have 3.
I thought we took care of that one back in
Huntington
March.
Power, Craft Power.
Huntington's the one I said.
Okay.
Yeah, you told me
They're
about
just
that.
over the line in Connecticut.
And then Bigelow Electric. Those were the 3.
Okay, and what was it? I could have sworn we took care of this back in March, back in the spring.
6245.
We discussed it, we discussed the minor and a major. Who was the second one?
Kraft, Huntington, and Bigelow.
Crafts, who we bought the generator from.
I don't know, sorry. You would know more. Let's see. So,
Service water and sewer generators, all of it.
Yeah, well, generator's a generator.
Yeah.
So do we have the 3 bids?
Yeah, and I know we went over them and everything,
So we have the prices.
but these were all back in March, so I don't know if they've changed now. But, here's, just so that you can. Sorry.
So we really need to. We gotta go through those.
I thought you took action.
I thought we did. I thought we made a decision back then.
Did you check if they're all comparable, like what they're doing?
I thought one of them was a more thorough process.
I just mean, do we have the same number of generators bidding on?
Timmy went around with them each time.
They wrote the smallest print, didn't give a total, they just gave all individual prices. I'm just gonna add all these numbers up. So if you wanna discuss something else, we'll.
Okay, then crunch those numbers. Budget revenue review. I've got the packet here. First page is the receivables and outstanding
Can't read that with my reading glasses.
for the last 3 months. Second page is the sewer budget, and we should be at 24%. Assuming going by the
Yes.
salary line items.
Yep.
Engineering so
Under which one?
high. So,
That's, it had done the Potash Brook.
Insurance number and retirement number were,
They're off.
they're off. And the last page. Is that the receivable?
Did I give you? I apologize. Hold on. Yeah.
Receipts for charges.
Yep.
I usually do one along here.
Is that a year to date, or is that just the quarterly?
That's just from September 4th till October 2nd,
Oh,
because we had a
yeah,
bill
it
due.
was a billing cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna be high, yeah.
Yeah.
I usually look forward like.
Any questions about the budgets? Everything looks pretty. And we got the, of course, the capital projects at the back of each of those budgets. Okay. Anything from you, Bob?
No, I'm looking at them.
I mean, it looks pretty straightforward, except for those numbers that have been high right since the beginning of the year.
How are we so far off on the general insurance?
The numbers were estimated, because we didn't have the numbers from second floor. And then when the actual numbers came through, the actual numbers were higher than what we tried to estimate. I think we estimated last year plus 10%.
So what,
We were still 33%.
what the problem was is we estimated off of fiscal year '23 because fiscal year '24, we did not receive that bill until June. It was actually
That's
the
right.
beginning of July.
Yep.
So we didn't know that that had gone up that much till after the budget was already set in place.
Kind of like the same thing that happened with the true up with Webster.
So
Everything escalated.
now we at least have those for going off of for doing next year.
Any questions?
I would just question the process for getting numbers from the people in the town that provide the numbers, and we have no other way to get them.
Right. Oh,
We need them to be timely,
That
given
is-
timely so that we can do a budget accurately and not be behind by 33%. Because now other areas of Joe's budget have to suffer in order to cover that difference.
Come up with the generator.
Bigelow was the low bidder. Huntington was $7,515.19. Kraft was $6,245, and Bigelow was $5,400. So,
And they are comparable. The contracts were comparable.
How often are they gonna service it?
twice a year.
Is that once a year or twice a year?
Twice a year.
Twice a year. Okay, what's the, I mean, we gotta find out if these are, if they were even willing to honor these still.
Yeah, just verify the prices again.
Verify that they were, but,
Are we gonna split the cost of that?
Water and sewer.
Theoretically, you've got every generator listed in there with a line item for each one. So that's gonna be, we should have that broken down.
so it's easy enough to split it.
Well, how many generators are there total?
That list.
How many water, how many sewer? That's-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 generators. The main station, that's water. Lakeview is sewer. Wayne Ave is sewer. Brentwood Ave is sewer. Payne Yard Road,
Hanyard Road, sewer.
oh, sewer. There's 2 of them. There's an Olympian and a Perkins. Lyons Road is sewer, Station 7 is water, Station 3 is water, and Station 3 again is water. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 water and 6 sewer.
So we'll pay 60%?
Well, yeah, like I said, they gave a cost per generator. So it would,
Okay.
it's easy enough to,
Yeah,
it's easy
okay.
enough to do that. So, I mean, do we
Make
wanna?
that motion, Bob, just in case we didn't do it before? Just go under it?
Yeah, I mean, I would make a motion that we approve the service contract with the generator based on the lowest bidder out of the 3, which is currently Bigelow.
And that's contingent.
Contingent on the prices being the same as quoted.
I'll second that.
The motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye, opposed?
If Bigelow doesn't honor it, we're gonna have to be discussed.
We'll have to discuss new, you know, if they come back with new prices, different prices.
Right.
Go later,
Then we'll have to contact the other ones to see if they'll honor it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shut-off policy, we have the shut-off policy here. We discussed this last month. This was redrafted in 2021. we haven't used it. But I think actually with that budget review, we are currently looking at $156,000 in liens and $192,000 in outstanding 2025, and $226,000 in outstanding 2024. That's, of course, the 24 and 25 outstandings are still, the 25 outstanding is still current for the
And I have-
most part.
I printed out just for one copy of the,
Yep.
where everybody falls.
So, I mean, the outstanding 2025 is still somewhat current, but we're looking at, last fiscal year and before of $375,000 outstanding.
A lot of money, Mr. Chairman.
It certainly is. That's way too much to be leaving hanging out there.
So what is it on the agenda for?
To let everybody know that this is the policy that we have.
Because it was approved in November
It-
3rd,
Correct.
21.
2021.
Do you want to start implementing it? That was your discussion to be had.
Well, in my opinion, we input the policy, we should have followed the policies.
Right.
You all know my opinion on general.
It's okay, because now we're letting, it's okay, because now we're letting the public know that it's
Yes,
coming.
it's coming. Yep, we're gonna start,
They'll get plenty of notice, I mean, right through the policy,
is,
there's first notice, second notice,
30 days, then 7 days after that.
final notice.
No.
There's multiple notices.
I have the current list. I will start working on it.
Okay, and that's an easy one. Actually, that's what
Yeah.
pending, that's right, pending coming here, coming to the board, start moving forward with it. SOPs, do we have any? We don't have anything in that. The water fees, for on and off, shut off and turn on, didn't we enact that already? Shut off and turn on?
No, I know we-
Okay, we discussed them. The indirects are still out there, and I think the vehicle upgrades are pretty much, the 150. Is that truck roadworthy?
Oh, yeah. That's acting as our box truck right now.
But is it roadworthy?
Yes, it is.
There's nothing,
Why do you think it's not?
just by the name that everybody calls it?
No, that's just a joke that people throw out. Probably one of our better running trucks. Has a little rust around the edges, but otherwise
Okay.
it's very roadworthy.
Okay. But,
But, never mind, I'll hold off.
okay. There's been nothing on any of that, but we do need to get started up again on cleaning up some of our operating procedures. And has there been any movement on the standard products,
Our standard specs,
standards?
like you mean what we
Yeah.
use for equipment?
Yes, what we use for, what we want for parts, and what we want folks, like, for example, is there a specific
I
meter
set up a
pit that we want to use?
parts listing for prices and that on parts for customer and for wholesale
Okay.
stuff, so that, we have that posted. Well, I got it in our shop anyway.
Okay,
And I think
and
Joe's
that-
got some
okay,
copies.
so we do have it.
No, but I think what we're
Okay.
looking at is specifications as to, do you allow only ductile iron pipe, or are you?
Yeah, class 52, there's regulations, either ductile, class 52, certain types of PSI for plastic. We converse that with the contractors that come in to do work, so they know. On paper, we can write up something on paper that's,
You
shows
need to have it
what.
written, because if a contractor comes in and you don't have standard specifications, they can put in whatever they want.
Even,
Like, I don't allow anything but class 52 ductile iron.
right,
There's no plastic in town, it hasn't been proven long enough to me. I mean, ductile's been around for 100 years.
right.
So,
If we get that, George, we can somebody like him come in, yeah, this is what,
That all the specs of, you know,
These are the, like, for example, that meter pit, is there a particular brand of meter pit that we want them to use?
Just the size type of, you know,
well, he's building a meter pit, it's, because you're using manholes in it, so if you're going 5 foot, I mean, they're standard, like Ford has a Ford meter. They have a few different designs. You have one that the meter's mounted permanently, or they have another one that it's on a coil of plastic pipe and you raise it up to the top so you can work on it without having to get down in the manhole. So you just gotta look at what your standard specs are. If you say a 5 foot, you just write down a 5 foot manhole.
yeah,
Something
telescoping,
the bury depth is 5 feet. Pipes have to come in 1 inch in the bottom, whatever, you just gotta write all that down.
Okay, yep.
Because, I'll just use the mill project as an example, because it was one of my questions. We didn't see any plans, we didn't see any specifications, we have no idea what they spec for pipe, equipment, manholes, frames and covers. I insist on, we have a standard spec, it has to be American-made frames and covers. They're much heavier, they last longer, they don't bust apart when you're trying to pry them up or a plow hits them. But I have no idea what they're using down there, because none of that came before the board.
Oh, I know.
We have no idea what they're putting in for material, none of it's been approved, so. And then 3 years from now, when the manholes are cracking and stuff's falling in and leaking in, I mean, there's nothing in there for, we don't know if they're sealing the sections between the manholes. And all that is gonna be I that the rest of our ratepayers have to pay for. So you need the standard specifications, so when you go out there to inspect it, and they're using cheap junk from India, or, the Sigmas are from India, they get the Chinese brands, but when all that stuff's falling apart, we have no recourse, because we didn't have anyone out there inspecting it and making sure it meets our standard specs.
We don't have a standard spec. Okay,
But that's where you can deny all the work if they did it and they didn't meet our standard specs.
so get that drawn up. George?
And that being said, we should probably look at having a second engineering firm on staff, or not on staff, but under contract or agreement, for reviewing plans if our current engineering firm is doing work for other departments or other entities. And they're designing and then they're trying to do the inspection. So whose behalf are they working on? So if they're designing for other departments in town, then we should have a different engineer review the plans and approve the plans to make sure everything meets our requirements.
A peer review.
Right. You know, we asked for that at the planning board, that there's a 53G account or something so that we can have peer reviews done on these projects, but I don't think that was done for this mill project. So we can establish a 53G account, but that cost has to be the burden of whoever's doing the work that our engineers have to review.
So we have to put something with, if we wanted to hire somebody to do that, we would
Just
have
get
to
an
put that
agreement in
out.
place with them. You don't have to put it out to bid, you can pick who you want. Engineering services don't fall under the procurement laws where we have to pick the lowest bidder or anything. It's a service, so we can pick the firm that has the best interest for our department.
Is that something that, you have any, I don't know who I don't know the other engineering companies that are out there.
I have a bunch of them, but I use Stantec for both water and sewer and Dudley's. I use Ty and Bond for other things in town. McClure's local, he's a small guy, if you want someone small. He's right out of Charlton. Beals and Associates.
Put something out there
There's a
to,
dozen of them.
should we put something out there to,
Like I said, it depends on what level you're looking for. Do you guys think that tie and bond's expensive? All the engineering firms are gonna be around the same price?
Oh, I'm sure they are, right? I mean, it is expensive, but it's the cost of doing business. There's no doubt that, I don't believe for a minute that they're taking advantage of us.
No, I mean, I was
They're doing
disappointed.
business.
I was disappointed with some of the oversight that was done on the first project. I mean, we know that we had plenty of complaints from a
Yep.
couple residents that, and then we had issues with no compaction and the trenches caving in the day after they put them in. So, you know, I've been happy with the people that I use, but if you guys wanna have, I can see if I can set something up for them to come in and have a conversation. Up to the board. But I can give you a dozen different engineering firms that do it.
Okay,
So you're talking when tie and bond is involved with the town, to use somewhere else? Or do we wanna,
Either way, we can look at it both ways. I mean, I'm upset that the firm that we use for engineering engineered a whole project that we knew nothing about.
yeah,
Never came before the board, never got approved, we never saw design plans, nothing. So that, you know, you would think out of courtesy that it's the engineering firm that we brought into town to do work, to do our work, our projects, and they never once informed us of a project that was going on. That's all sewer.
I agree. Right? If you wanna bring somebody in and we can just talk with them.
Because we still haven't heard anything, have we? About this project that's going on?
we, not as a board, no. Just what's been told to us
So it hasn't even been approved for a connection.
from employees, yep.
Have you been involved in the design at all? Did you review any of the plans, anything?
I didn't review, I was involved in the review of the plans. I looked at the plans, but not as part of being the one to do anything on it, make some recommendations, but that's about it. Nothing super. The town was really the motivator. It's their project.
Well, I mean, that project does not serve the best interests of the sewer department, so the sewer users. It really doesn't fix anything for us because of the way it's only connecting some of the current.
Yeah,
It's there
it's a
strictly
liability to us, that is.
it's strictly to provide adequate sewer service to the mill should it be rehabbed into apartments. That's the only reason for this project. And that's, it was an end around. Okay, so we'll work on getting some, I mean, and we're gonna have the same sort of thing happening with other potential projects in town where make sure that it could be a good idea to have some review.
If that's the whole purpose of that sewer project, that's $100 million project all day long, probably twice that. If I had to guess, it's probably a $150 to $200 million project
Oh, the mill?
to convert that mill to apartments.
Right.
So why are we bearing any burden of the cost of this, and why were negotiations not done to get other upgrades done in town to assist, so that we're not just taking on more burden and not
Or
relieving some of the burden that we have?
even, not even anything in the other parts of town, but have that part of town done right.
That's what I mean, they didn't do
Yeah.
they didn't do what they did right. And beyond that, it should have been done right, and there should
Every-
have been additional.
Every house should be
Benefit.
connected. Every single one of the houses should be connected to those new mains.
Right, but
And
beyond
they're
that,
not going to be.
we're looking at issues with our percentage of sewer that's going to Webster now. I mean, you've been in the meetings, what we allocated and what we're at, because of the I&I we have, is an issue. The state had, at one point, tried to mandate that if anyone new coming onto a system like this project if they estimate they're gonna use 40,000 gallons a day, the state was trying to implement a rule that said you had to eliminate 4 to 1. So if it was 40,000 gallons a day of use, you needed to eliminate 1.6 million gallons of infiltration. So that's something that we could have used to say, fix the issues up on the siphon and take care of some of the I&I issues to offset what they're gonna bring in. So
We
those are
haven't
negotiating things that should have been used.
We haven't given them permission to tie into our sewer to go online anyways.
Right. But
Not as a board, no.
they're installing sewer with no approval or anything, so obviously that doesn't matter.
We don't have to let them use it.
But you gotta make sure you got mechanisms in place to stop them when they go to tie into the actual sewer. And then what do you do if they're saying from the last meeting, it was said that they're connecting some of them, but not all of them that are along the way?
Mm-hmm.
So if they're tying in customers that are existing to a sewer that they're doing now, what do you do with that if you say, no, you can't connect it? Are they connected to the old, to the new? Which one are they connected to? So none of those should be converted over until, first of all, it's approved, and
But they've gotta come before us to get water.
the whole process is they come to us with the plan so we can review the plans and approve it to begin with. That didn't happen, so what makes you think they're gonna go through the right process to do the rest of it correctly? They yelled at us last year that we didn't come before, we waited till the last hour, even though we had been talking about it for 3 years on the index. They said, oh, why do you bring this to us at the 11th hour? We say, all right, we wanna be on the first agenda in July. Nothing. We were denied, we actually asked and we were denied.
We were put on the agenda and then we were taken off the agenda.
So, we went a whole year, we came back with numbers for indirects, they changed them to what they wanted.
I'm agreeing, I don't have a problem, like, don't turn the water on.
Like I said, I just think that we need to start doing our homework on where that goes.
Okay.
I mean, our rates
that's
have
the
gone
case,
up
that's a-
astronomically.
That's a discussion that needs to be handled, not in public. Okay. Superintendent's report.
Questions on the water side?
Was it just total coliform or was it E. coli? Well,
Total call for.
Okay, no questions on the water side?
well, what's
up,
the,
please? Oh, go ahead.
I saw comments about a booster station and a new tank?
This is a project that I'm gonna start working with the engineers because the DEP is wanting answers to why the PSIs, certain parts of town are very low. This has been on system for
So, no, for.
years, but
Yes.
it's a requirement we have to do now.
Part of the
Along with
sanitary-
that thing we
part of
talked
the
about, the
sanitary
hatch,
survey.
same thing. We're working on a bunch of it, but as long as I'm starting to get some kind of engineer plan of how to deal with it, they're happy with that.
But when we submitted everything to have that tank rehabbed, both tanks rehabbed. We did a complete rehab on that tank.
Yeah.
Did we not? That had to be sent to DEP for approval. Why wouldn't they bring up the hatch issue during that whole process?
That's a good question. I've been asking that, and the person that came out to do the inspection was adamant about that, and I asked about,
Right, but
you know,
it's
why.
sanitary survey, you're saying.
Yeah.
But who did the review of the tank rehab?
Oh,
That was a key.
Gee, I don't remember. unless it was Kate that did it. I don't remember. I think Kate came out for the tank.
Well, she probably came out to inspect it,
Yeah,
she did the
but I don't
review on the
know.
rehab.
But they're looking for a way to alleviate the pressure issues in certain areas. That's one of them. Up by the courthouse is another area, things like that. So as long as I have something starting, they'll accept that for now. 'Cause we're not gonna change it overnight, it take years. I mean, we get enough on the plate now.
Yeah, I mean, my concern is that they bring it up after we rehab a tank.
I know.
They
'Cause that
should've
whole
brought-
top
they should've
shed's
brought
gotta
up-
be done, too.
They should have brought up the hatch issue then, and if the pressure, I guess it may not have been, may not have been aware of it, but I would have preferred to replace the tank than rehab it if we, I mean, how much did we spend rehabbing a tank?
Between the two was about 800,000, I think, for the two. I think that was part of the first
Well, then we had change orders.
SRF, yeah. But that all came in below, that all came in under budget.
You know,
Well, under budget, I think we budgeted $1 million, because that was a short-term borrowing, and
that was FRF funding.
That was SRF. I want to say that was 800,000. I don't think that hit $1 million for the tank.
No, I
rehab
thought it
part
was
of
even less than that. I can't remember.
But, and then it came in under budget.
Yep.
That was even after delaying, because they delayed to get away from the Mason Road project and the, what was the third part of it? Mason Road, the tanks, and
the treatment.
So even the water mains,
The treatment
the
plant took
blending.
precedence over everything, and they
yeah,
let
and
us,
it just,
they let us delay
they had
it.
to push that out in order to,
Had to do one at a time, as you can see.
oh, it was rebuilding Station 1. That was redrilling the 3 wells.
And you're
That's what it
looking at
was.
putting
It was
an
3
elevated
wells.
tank there? or an
Well, that's
elevated
one of the
tank
ideas,
somewhere
is an
else?
elevated tank further back or somewhere in property near the school that come right through the field. Maybe put a lateral out to just Juniper, that area, Ash Lane, and then another one down Bates. And then there's some idea about some booster pumps set up that they want to look into.
And would we get rid of this tank?
Yeah. Yeah. That would take over for this tank. But he's pushing to more of a booster type setup. I don't know, we're still in the planning of it.
Who's he?
Ty and Bond.
Okay, so the engineers are,
Jeff Faulkner's.
they're
looking into that.
giving us, okay, so they're gonna give us some proposals of some preliminary costs of what the different,
But if you're doing,
Options are.
if you're doing a tank, if you're gonna do an elevated tank, you won't need a booster station.
no.
Design it to be at the right elevation.
Yeah.
And an elevated tank costs no money to run, because you're gonna pump it to it. If you got a booster, now you got a tank that you're pumping to, then you're pumping it from the tank
Tank
to the system.
Right.
You have pumps that you have to maintain, and they have to be working all the time in order to maintain pressure. So I would try to avoid a booster station and put an elevated tank, that would make more sense.
I guess I'm gonna hear both his proposals and see what he comes up with.
And do we know what pressure we're short?
We got about 8 pounds at the bottom of Bates Road.
8 pounds.
Somewhere down on Airport Road is around 60 PSI.
I'm saying then, did they say anything about the effect it's gonna have? You gotta increase a minimum of 12 PSI, just not the standard.
So that's one of the areas. The other area is up on,
So you gotta go about 30 feet higher than the existing tank.
less redundancy and storage of water, so we have capacity if we have a problem or something, we'll be able to have another tank available.
What size is that tank?
$750,000. Bless you.
Excuse me.
So I'd probably say you wanna go with like a 500 somewhere and a 250 somewhere else. That way you have backup, you can take one tank down and operate off the other.
I've made some suggestions to him. He's got everything together, and he's gonna try to set up a plan of that, so we're
Okay.
working on that. At least he can give something that we are working on it.
So it says here that the box truck is gonna be out of service for a little while.
Why not?
What's a little while?
Couple weeks. They haven't got to it yet. They're overloaded with diesel trucks. Everybody's overloaded with trucks, so no matter what you do. And this
What's
is
the issue?
possible computer problem, ignition problem. They're just taking guesses at it right now, but they have to run some diagnostics on it. It died on Tufts Hill, 3/4 of the way up.
Who's got it?
Place, towed it to place. Not gonna tow it to 3 different places because they can't deal with it, so they have all the equipment to deal with it. So I told them I'd give them at least a week and a half, and I'll call them and see. But it's not looking good.
Okay, any questions on the sewer?
Careful. I'd rather just read it and,
Well, it's public information.
yeah, well,
Put it in writing, it's a public information, public document.
Before I speak. The jetter. Is there a problem with it?
it's been a problem with it. It's leaking severe water out of the pump. So you're not getting the type of PSI that we need to really make a good blasting in the mains. You get maybe about 1,000, just if that. Should be about 3. But I have a capital improvement already planned to put a new jetter in for this year coming up, or actually it was supposed to be this coming up, but do it in the springtime.
What are we looking at?
About a trailer type, same as we have, diesel motor without Tier 4 emissions. About 125,
You get 120 on it.
120, $135,000, depending on any options and things like that, which isn't too bad. They have a special procurement system too, like they do with the vehicles.
What, are there any options that are less expensive that aren't diesel?
No, they don't recommend gas anymore. Most of them going to diesel now, so.
How often are they jetting?
They're jetting what's needed, or what was needed. So, that's all I can tell you right now.
Well, if we only jet once a year for
Well, no, we need a jet.
4
now.
hours, then just subcontract it out.
We need jetting done in certain areas at least twice a year. And we're working on that right now. We're making an attempt to.
Twice a year is $6,000. That's an awful lot of years to get $220,000.
You want to contract it out, that's fine with me. I have no problem with that.
Cost to refurbish this pump.
Well, that's,
We're gonna have that evaluated, but I'm gonna try to get finish off what we do before the cold weather sets in. So then I have a place to take it to have it looked at to see if the pump can be fixed. It's an old unit.
okay. Any other questions on the,
Did we contact somebody about coming into jet?
Other companies will jet.
I know, but it's gotta get done before the cold weather, and this,
Well, we're gonna do what we can over here and see how the condition of it, if it's not too bad, we'll be all right for this year, till the next, after winter time. Then, we'll see if this thing can get fixed too, at least so we have it, because we do our wet wells with it and everything else too, so.
board comments?
I think I borrowed most of my grapes already.
John?
it's good. Good.
Jen?
When's your next vacation?
Not next week, the following.
I know, it must have had one.
Oh, she had one coming. She only had a day off last week. And on a vacation the week before that.
Mr. Chairman, you got any comments?
Nope. Motion.
Yes, George.
Oh, George, did you have anything? No?
Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.